Well, thanks for joining us. I'm back now with Casto Canavante, who is the marketing team leader at the KNX Association. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to talk about the KNX IoT program, creating value for the future of IoT. And it's a pleasure, Casto, to have you here with us today. And
Hello.
again, it's such an exciting thing to be in the middle of this, and the KX IoT Tech program is the engine behind it. So, but before we get into details, maybe I can just ask you to lay a little bit of groundwork, because depending upon who you believe in, there may be 25 to 30 billion IoT devices out there now. But Juniper Research also has put out a recent study saying right now, this year, we'll sell 360 million sensors in buildings, and they expect it to leap to 1 billion by 2026. So maybe we should talk first a little bit about the landscape of where we are at, and how do you look at the challenge ahead?
Yeah, sure. This is well, in the last years, no, we've seen really at the time how has changed our industry, the sector, and we see it in particular in the smart homes. We can see how now people are demanding more devices, that they want to have additional possibilities to control their homes, and the same applies in buildings. So people need to work in smart buildings. And for us, it was very important that technology can seamlessly connect with everything, basically. So they can connect everything. And this is the philosophy behind IoT. And what we can do with this is we can connect devices, we can connect solutions and services. And for this specific reason, we have extended the KNX technology, where we now extend with the IoT technology. And so from the KNX technology, we now have the KNX IoT technology, which is an extension of the technology, so that we can have more products connected to the technology, we can have more solutions, and of course, that offers a possibility to add services on top of that, of course.
Yeah, and so the extension not only benefits KNX, so to speak, but it benefits your members, the professionals that you work with, and even the end customer.
That's correct. So with the thanks to the KNX IoT, we now enable, or the consequence was that we enable services with KNX. That's what we call the services with KNX. And this is possibilities for indeed for the community, so the manufacturers, the professionals, and also for the end users. So when we look at the professionals, for instance, they now have the opportunity to offer to their clients, they can offer new services. So they can make the installation for their customers, and besides this, they can offer the possibility to add third-party services to the smart home. Now, to give you an example, if you look at an elderly home, for instance, where the people they need, they will have possibilities to connect to Red Cross, for instance, the professional can offer this service. So how the Red Cross could monitor the living in the house by this family, so that this family, in case they have any issue, for instance, you imagine that you fall into the living room, there is a detector who is detecting actually not a movement in the house around, so they can give you a call to make sure that they can control if you are okay or not. If you don't pick up the phone, they can send an ambulance to your home just to make sure that you are okay. And that's a benefit for the end user as well. So the professional can offer this service to the end customer, and the end customer will benefit from it. On top of that, as we mentioned, also manufacturers, they also have now the possibility to benefit from KNX IoT, because now it's easier for them to offer new product that they can connect to more devices. So in the end, it's a benefit for the whole community.
And it's the sort of innovation that just expands that universe of what we can do, of what every part of the chain can do. So that's kind of cool. So, you know, Let's talk about specifically what is the KNX IoT, the KNX IoTech program and the pillars that you base it on.
We see that the IoT industry in home and building automation, in the end, is changing a lot, and we want to stand for quality. So we want to set a high standard in IoT devices that are present in the niche industry of smart home and smart buildings. And for this specific reason, we're working on the program of KNX IoTech. This program it focuses on several aspects like using an open standard, using a pure standard that is open, that is interoperable, that is secure, and that is sustainable. So this is what we look for the future of the IoT devices, to guarantee a minimum requirements that we want to have in the IoT in smart home and smart buildings. And for that, we launch the KNX IoTech program.
Okay. And you mentioned open technology. Why is that an important pillar?
Yeah, open technology is actually important because when there is a smart home or a smart project, you can make it using a closed technology or an open technology. We refer closed technology like a proprietary technology. So when a brand company is developing products, if this company wants the different products from their portfolio to work together, the company will need to also create a technology. But if this technology works only for the products developed and manufactured by a specific company, this is a proprietary system. And that could be convenient in specific projects when the installer can make your projects based on the portfolio of the products of this company for your home. But with the time, the company might get behind on the trends of the market, and then there is a new solution or a new feature coming to the market, the customer might want to include this into their projects. But maybe, in this case, maybe the company didn't have the time to develop the communication and the new products. And in this way, the customer is always tied to, to the service from this brand and cannot make additions to their home or the building. With open technologies, we believe that this never happened, because in the end, but we are certain that the open technology will stay and will dominate the market, because it guarantees easier integration of different products into the system. And that's, in the end, that's very interesting, because every time, every month, every week, there is new possibilities for you to add to your home, or you just change your behavior, you sell it, or you change the use of specific rooms. And then you can, of course, you will need to adapt it. With open technologies, that will be easier. On top of that, if the open technology is using a standard, which is an approved standard, that is an additional benefit, because when we look at, you are using an open technology, and that is on top of that is the standard, you guarantee also a long-lasting technology, because in KNX we work and we put our efforts not only to develop the technology, but we also put the efforts in making sure that this technology is going to be approved and recognized in the whole world. So in fact, KNX is already approved as a standard in smart homes, and is approved as a standard in smart buildings. Now we look at additional countries where we need to set up the buildings, and not the buildings, sorry, the standard. We need to also get accredited our standard in the different countries, like could be China, or it is in the States. And that guarantees, when the standard is approved in the whole world or in different regions, we also guarantee with this that it will be a long-lasting technology. And this is why it's important both to have an open technology and also to use approved standard in IoT devices.
I believe that the open technology, is finally won the war, so to speak, and the world seems to be much more in favor of open technology. As you know, at the very beginning of the IT business, a lot of the proprietary technology took root, but it seems to have won the attention. But one of the other aspects that interests me about the KNX, IoTech is the interoperability. Maybe you could speak to that point, how important it is, and what crucial aspects that you're looking at.
It is interoperability is very important. So we see that there is a lack of interoperability in the market, and that increases the level of complexity or uncertainty for the customers. In general, the average consumer, he has no knowledge or he's not interested on the different communication protocols. And that makes, of course, that's normal. And that makes that when a system, they need to work with other systems, they need to be interoperable. And some companies, they have already tackled this issue of interoperability so that they achieve the products, they can see each other, but they didn't really manage to be fully interoperable. At KNX, we actually go one step further. So we actually call it interworking of devices. The interworking is actually when you can have different products into your installation, and then these devices, they will not only not have any conflict, but the devices will work together. That's very simple to prove. So you just take two devices with KNX, so two certified devices, you put in the same installation, and you can configure them so that they will work together. And this is the reason why being or using a technology that is interoperable is very important for us, because we need to guarantee that when new products are added to the installations, they will work together, and therefore that's the importance.
And so we have the interoperability, we have the open, and we have the connectivity. So maybe we should talk about security. Is there any security mechanisms implemented?
Yes, of course. Indeed. So there is a major challenge related to smart homes and smart buildings, and this is actually the aspect of security. And we could say security and integrity as well, because if you have, for instance, a hacker who is he attempt to control or to connect to your installation, and then he's connecting and watching you on the IP cameras that you are using, so he can connect to the IP cameras, then he could see you around how you move or what you do in your home. And that is not only a breach of security, but also in your integrity, because somebody from external, he's actually looking at you.
Yeah.
And that is really a big...
Really uncomfortable.
You will feel very much, and you will not trust technology anymore. That's a big thing. So we are indeed aware of this issue. And for the KNX IoT technology, when you have a client that is, which is an application, for instance, connecting to a server, for that we include what is called a standard open authorization process in this communication, so that we guarantee the communication is secure. And that's happened for the KNX IoT third-party API. At the same time, when there is the communication of KNX IoT point API, in this particular communication, which is a product that connects via IP directly to the installation, we include the security mechanisms are embedded by design, so that we can guarantee a robust system, whether you are using third-party API or point API. So the KNX IoTech program, in this case, guarantees the most secure devices, solutions, and services in the market when it comes in terms of smart homes or smart building.
Well, security is certainly rising to the top of the most required elements, and the fact that you have good security is a big point for KNX. I also hear, when one talks about KNX, it comes up one ecosystem. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about, what one ecosystem means.
Mhm. Yeah, well, we see that the emerging technology of IoT, there are brought a lot of companies to the market because, of course, they are interested. So they see that there is a great potential for them to sell products in this domain. And as a consequence, that brought that we have an hyper fragmentation of the industry, which makes the user even more confused because they are not capable to connect different ecosystems. When you buy products from one brand, you can connect all of them together of this brand. But then if you look at products from other brands, you might not work, you might not connect this product of the other brand with the first one. In that case, you might have in your home or in the building, you might have small ecosystems and they will be independent. So they will be like silos. They don't talk to each other. And that makes the user having problems in how to integrate different systems, or he will limit the possibilities of the customer when looking at different products, because then he will always look for products of just one brand. How we solved this was with the use of ETS. So ETS is our software that can configure all the KNX devices in one common installation, which is one common ecosystem. So in the end, we give the possibility to customers to integrate a range of more than 8,000 devices. They can integrate it in one single system. So for the amount, the devices are limitless, no? So you can connect a wide range from our manufacturer. We have more than 500 manufacturers. They are offering more than a portfolio of more than 8,000 certified devices. And you can have them all in one system, in one KNX system, thanks to the ETS tool that can configure all the products in one system for the end customer to have just one ecosystem. And that is why one ecosystem is important.
Okay, and it's probably not a large step when we're talking about ecosystems to talk about sustainability. How
Mhm.
critical is sustainability in the future to create a sustainable world at KNX?
Yeah, we've been for a long time. We've been working on energy efficiency. So our professionals they develop and they realize projects with the consequence that the projects are made in a manner that they are sustainable. So these projects they save energy by applying applications in the best way possible. So we move from energy efficiency to a more active approach. And this active approach is energy management. So energy management is specific, is providing mechanisms to the home to use to provide energy 24 hours, all day long, anytime that is required by the user, and to take the best source possible. When it's possible to use a source of energy that is coming from renewable energies or energy that your home or your building generates yourself, the home will use this one instead of using other source of energy like fuel, like fossil energy. And so at KNX, we are aware of this, and we are committed to deliver a better future. And therefore, what we want to do is we want to promote all IoT devices and they are created in the field of energy management, so that these devices they get more visibility to be better used and more widely used in projects. For us, it's very important, and we will promote more these products, of course.
And again, I think the KNX IoTech program has these very important pillars, and obviously, we should try to point the people to where they can find more information after your great introduction to it. But is
Mhm.
there some place where we can find all this information?
Yeah, we are collecting all the KNX IoTech products, we are collecting them into the IP landscape, so that we can have a marketplace where we offer all IP devices for the customers, so that they can see and they can find them all. The professionals, you can find all these products into a website that we have created, knxiotech.org. All can be found there. More information about the KNX IoTech program can also be found there, and the KNX IP marketplace.
Thank you very much, Casto, for joining me in this discussion of the KNX IoTech program. And here at the KNX IoT Summit, we're very happy to really be impressed by this combination of KNX and IoT working together and the possibilities that it opens up. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much.